Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Opti TV. This time we're going to be taking a look at some maintenance tips that you might want to be using when taking care of your Opti. In this video, we're going to be covering your typical wear and tear, some things to look out for, and how to keep your boat in sailing shape. Alright, so here we have your standard Opti. This one was manufactured in 2008 and has seen 3 owners. So the main thing to understand about boats in general is that sun and water are its worst enemy. That's why we use boat covers both on the top and bottom of the boat to keep the sun off the gel coat. Gel coat is the white resin that covers all the fiberglass on the boat and actually protects it from the damage of UV rays. It's a chemical process, and that's why if you've ever seen a boat that's been left exposed in the sun for a long time, it looks dusty. That's oxidation from the gel coat. So to prevent that, make sure to use your cover. When thinking about maintenance of a boat, let's take a look at the flotation and the condition of the hiking straps. Nothing ruins a day faster than an underinflated or broken airbag. With that in mind, let's take a look at what's going on with this boat. Here you can see already that there's a cut on the port side airbag, and that's already at a point that I'd be thinking about replacing it. That's because airbags are made from 2 layers, an inner rubber membrane which holds the air, and this outer shell which protects it from the sun and is more puncture resistant. Here, this outer layer is already compromised, and although you can continue to use this airbag, there's no guarantee of when the inner membrane will go. So if you have any kind of gash or cut in an airbag, the rule of thumb is to replace it if it is a serious racing boat. Here you can see the effects of the sun. The sun has oxidized the airbag and made the outer layer more brittle. Here's a close-up of the airbag nozzle. As you can see, this one has mold and it came apart pretty easily. They come from the manufacturer with a little bit of glue or sealant, and if you have this kind of airbag with the hose and nozzle combination, it's really important to check up on it and make sure the twist nozzle is secure. It can go unnoticed, and the next thing you know, you've lost flotation on the airbag and you've capsized and the tip goes missing. Don't go putting water inside the airbag, but you can clean the thread with soap and water to clean off any salt and mold buildup to make sure they are closing properly. The main thing with hiking straps is looking out for dry rot, which is a consequence of the plastics in the webbing oxidizing and becoming weaker. Anytime you bring your boat down to go sailing or to clean it, a good idea is to just give the hiking straps a good tug. That way you can prevent an accident on the water, especially on those windier days when you really need your hiking straps. If you give them a tug and you hear any ripping sounds or they feel loose, it's time to adjust or replace them. These particular hiking straps look ready to replace, but as long as the padding has not separated and your actual straps are not coming apart, you can trim off the top branding to extend the lifetime of the straps and just make it look cleaner. Some setups are very aggressive and wear through straps, so just keep that in mind when going over your hiking straps. One other thing I want to point out is here the inside of the chine where the sailor sits and places their feet. You can kind of see it in the video, but over time bailers and the sailor's shoes or feet actually wear down on the non-skid, which is this scratchy part here. And if you can see exposed fiberglass on the chine like this, you may want to check out the non-skid and have it redone. No grip on the deck means that it is slippery and the boat can't be sailed very hard. We've got our boat here free of airbags and it's time to clean it. You may be able to see the gray spots here near the airbag straps, and that's actually mold. It accumulates because of moisture under your airbags, and although it doesn't hinder the boat's performance, it isn't sanitary and can speed up the degradation of airbags and airbag straps. I would also recommend that when you take off your airbags, inspect the joints of the boat, the seam between the rail and the hull, and the deck joints to the thwart. Speaking of the thwart, let's go ahead and move on to there and the mast area. The mast step is very important to your Optimist, and it's really important to keep it clean and lubricated. This is how you can adjust your mast rake, and it's extremely important in racing. I recommend applying rust remover and lubricating with silicone spray every few months to keep the star nut here fluid and spinning around the threading. Now we're here at the back of the boat, and I just wanted to show you what happens over time to the rudder area. What typically happens is that stress cracks and spider cracks form around the gudgeons, which are the metal points here that the rudder attaches to. What happens is kids slam their tiller to the back of the boat repeatedly over time. And although this in of itself does not break the boat, but you can see here that the cracks do start to get into the fiberglass and water can get in and weaken the structure, separating the layers and causing a costly repair. Thanks to the Coconut Grove Sailing Club for the loaner boat. And if you have any questions about Opti maintenance or anything Opti, let us know in the comments below. Now back to the studio. That about wraps it up for this one. Hopefully you guys learned a little something, and make sure to keep those boats clean. This has been Alberto. See you on the next one.